good evening. My name is GoldVision. Welcome to 7 Second Summer Camp. I'm the official gaming counselor here. We're doing something differently tonight in lieu of announcements, in lieu of camp announcements, which they're great normally, but we just didn't need any tonight. We're doing a quick interview. My friend Generosity was interested in interviewing me about this game World and had some questions and thought the world should know, and she's really great at interviewing, so I signed right up. I love talking about things that I work on and things that are important to me and I like to share, so all that's going to happen right now. And I guess welcome Jen.
Thank you. Are you sure there's no camp announcements? I like those camp announcements.
Yeah, not today. It's totally just normal day. It seems like camp activities are still going, actually. It seems like we got daytime back there. We got some giraffes meditating. They look like they're just meditating
they're like sitting
forward.
in their little mats over there.
Their sleeping bags, they're out. It's a little later than normal, so maybe we'll get some camp announcements at some point. But
okay,
right now it's not super important.
And I think I'm Generator, right?
Uh-huh.
Not Generosity.
Oh,
Generosity. Sometimes.
Yeah, it bounced between the two, I think.
Yeah, you get us confused.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So wait, these giraffes, the little like green lights. What's happening?
Well, right now they're meditating, and so as you can see, the red beams that come from any of the characters on this level, they go out in the direction that they're looking. In fact, I can't promise anything, but
don't promise
from this perspective, we had to do a little moving around to get camp in the right place, to get the camera angle perfect. So it might be a little difficult to get them going, but they should look in the direction that the player does. Here's a second.
I like being here. It's a nice breeze, actually. I feel.
Isn't it peaceful?
Yeah. Hints of rosemary, even. Just feels like a really nice open place.
That's the aspiration. There's a lot of games out there. A lot of games out there in the world. And
I think it actually might be this rosemary Christmas tree that I have from Trader
Joe's.
Joe's.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it doesn't normally have that scent.
Yeah, that's just right there.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that
it
smell.
back down.
Yeah, it smells wonderful.
Nice, though.
Oh
it's
yeah.
really nice out here in the woods. So you made this.
Yeah. So I assembled all of it.
Assembled
it, yeah, because there's contributions from other artists and other pieces and things, and I put together. It all started with the tent. I really wanted a low poly, low resource intensive tent. I wanted to make a game that lets you have a lot of frames, so that way you're really meditating. You're letting the frames just wash over you. So I wanted to focus on low poly, high speed gameplay, and we've achieved that here at the camp. There's a lot of, as you can see, a lot of low poly giraffes back there.
I mean, don't say that in front of them.
No, it's optimization. It's beautiful. I'm kind of making them run around right now.
Yeah.
Because right now my combo level is at the max, and so any of the creatures in the world will chase after where you're putting your attention. And because I'm not in virtual reality, I'm just doing it with the controller. But ultimately, virtual reality will let you look at your targets, and then you'll be able to direct your attention and the attention of everyone who's around you, who's meditating with you, or who is excited about how many meditation points you're getting. All of that will go toward
How
your
did
target.
they know if they're excited?
I guess they just feel it. I don't know. It's a signal that happens, and then they all start moving and looking in the direction of where you're guiding your attention.
So this will be in VR. When?
I'm hoping as early as next week. I'm hoping to pop it out there and pop it. It'll just be an update to the game.
Whoa.
So it won't be. There's not an extensive change to any of it. It'll just be. It'll be an extensive change, but it won't be anything that you'll have to do extra work for. You'll just load up Steam where the game currently is and the patch will update the game, and ultimately the real goal was to be able to have the same game world and everything the same. So you'll be able to just put on a VR helmet, anything you've got, and
I have
just play the game.
Lenses. Will those work?
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, if they're compatible with Steam.
Yeah, not
Steam
a lot
VR.
of people have them, but I got a...
That's cool. You got a little advanced version.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be the same game, except you'll be able to look around.
Okay, and
what
you
you're
could go
looking
from
at.
2D to 3D.
Yeah, because you can see maybe you can't, but there's a
4D.
crosshair in the background.
Yeah, I see it.
And that I'm controlling it right now with the controller, and so whatever it looks at, see, I'm looking at some of the giraffes and appreciating them. And when I do that, then they'll move to their sleeping bags. You saw them kind of move off screen that way to go and continue the meditation experience. Yeah, but they're all chasing the
What do you call like a
crosshair.
herd of giraffes?
I don't know. Awesome, exciting,
awesome. Poly.
Something like that.
Low poly.
Low poly.
Low poly, high quality.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything inspire this tent originally?
Yes, I've been camping many times, and I've also done a lot of virtual reality experiences. And in both, I really enjoy just relaxing in the tent and just the
you mean
some
like
of the demos
not
I've
the
done.
other stuff that goes along
No,
with
it's
it?
like for me personally, I really enjoy just placing the tent, being inside, feeling part of the environment, but also having privacy in a personal space. And so I wanted to make that. I wanted a tent you could place anywhere in the world, and then I wanted to camp in it and stargaze, but for the tent to be the central location and then to camp anywhere. And that has the results are a series of levels that, instead of finding a place, as I do in a lot of the games that I've been live streaming, instead of finding a place to camp, why don't you just build all the levels to be centrally located as the place that you'd want to eventually find to meditate? So it's a series of meditative places. You don't have to hunt for one. You don't have to go look for your own. It's designed for that. It's designed for a series of meditative experiences. And so that's what world I've created here. And now it's fun to go through and meditate, relax, stargaze, let it all just let reality unfold. Let your thoughts just pass through and be a part of life, and then move through the game world that way. And it was the inspiration from camping and from VR that have kind of melded into this singular expression of those ideas.
Sorry, I was meditating.
You
just
good.
Really...
It's good. It's really good. I like that happens.
So, first of all, sounds awesome.
It's a good time.
Sounds like a place you want to be. Is there a level that you've experienced like a peaceful or interesting moment recently?
I've been spending a lot of time in the Mind River.
I know the Mind River.
The Mind River, the orange level, the sacral chakra level. There's not it was because of the pelicans are very far away, and they represent professions. They're all named after professions, and just seeing it very far away, focusing on it, and then just folding into it was really peaceful. And the current of the Mind River is very consistent, and you're not moving too quickly toward the destination, so you don't have anything to rush, and you can't advance the game except by meditating. So it was a nice time. And I've been going through and doing some just fixes and polishing of things that I want to make sure work in both VR and the...
Is it hard to fix something? Because like you'll just suddenly start meditating.
I will say that I've spent a lot of time. It's a problem that I see a lot on the internet, that people developing games sometimes get stuck playing the game instead of working on it, and that's happened a lot.
Yeah.
But just with the music and just with the background audio, I just end up just in a meditative state, And
Gotta
it's
be
what
a good
it's
sign.
for. I've actually only recently allowed myself to appreciate that happened. And
Right. Instead of be frustrated.
Instead
by
of being like,
yeah.
oh, I've been distracted
Yeah.
and I haven't been working on what I'm trying to get done. It's actually part of the meditative journey. Because the thesis is that if you can meditate for 7 seconds, then you can keep meditating after that. And so just get that first 7 seconds done, and that's the name of the game. But it's all part of the same progress bar. So if you meditate for 7 seconds, and then you've got that for the rest of your life, and you can keep adding to that. And so every time I just dodged into it and became in a serene place, that was time that I add to the overall meditative experience, instead of calculating it as a distraction of me not getting the game as far as I wanted to.
So, is this game for people who meditate who like games? Or is it for people who like games who are curious about meditating?
It's definitely both of those.
Okay.
That's the target audience, though. I think both of those.
What if you're not either of those people?
And you're not curious about meditation at all?
Okay, so say you're
if you're curious about meditation and you
say
think it's
you're
hard,
like,
and
I know I'm
supposed
to meditate. Say that's somebody.
Some people say that, and then
I
I say I made a game where you can meditate for 7 seconds.
Okay. What if I don't play games?
Everybody plays games.
Everybody plays games.
Everybody plays games.
Really? What was the last game that you played?
Instagram.
Oh yeah. How are you?
I'm doing okay. They're not really that great, but
How does the Instagram
I don't spend that much time
work?
playing Instagram. You put in effort and you try to get points.
Interesting. Do people cheat?
All the time. I see a lot of people using AI to pass not real parts of their life by as real. I don't know if that's cheating, but it's definitely not authentic, which if they're trying to come across as authentic, then it's a little unfair.
So you ultimately love games, right?
Yeah, I do.
You haven't, tell me a little bit about, talk about your nonviolence game journey.
It's been harrowing.
It's been a harrowing time of nonviolence.
Yeah, because it's I've been doing it for a long time now, very, very aggressively nonviolent.
He's an aggressive.
I'm aggressively
nonviolent
player. I'll play a game and not use any of the weapons, regardless of how easy it would be to move the game forward by doing so. And
you mentioned doing VR experiences. One time you went to a VR experience and told the people there that you did not engage in any kind of violence.
Yeah.
Before you went into the game.
Or any video game violence. More importantly.
I just want you to know I'm a non-violent person.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Okay, so you go into this VR experience after you tell them that you don't use weapons, that you won't cause harm.
Yeah. Because we're waiting for the next game to start, so we had to be there, just in the lobby. So we were talking to the proctors or whatever the people who operated are called, operators perhaps, and
definitely proctors.
And I went in with a team of 4 and we did this Stormtroopers game, and I said everybody knew I wasn't going to do anything aggressive, but when we got to the part of the level, spoiler, that they give you Stormtrooper blasters, there were only 3, and so I didn't take one because there wasn't even one for me to take. And the proctor said that was some mean magnetism was the words that he used. And then they offered, there was a bunch of, they were like, oh, I'm so sorry that did, yeah. Sorry you didn't get to have one. And
but you thought it was intentional.
I thought somebody had drag and dropped it out of the game.
Yeah.
And so then they apologized and said we got to do another different mystery game. Which also I didn't have to kill anybody. That one was
I just closed my eyes the whole time, which is tough in virtual reality things because you got to move. But
Generator was there.
I was there for that.
She was participating.
But I think that there's some kind of synchronicity with you and these sort of gaming experiences And like I think the best phrase to use is that you are always really good at breaking games,
Okay.
like like Yahtzee, like any type of game, to some board games to video game. Like you always sort of like to play games in a different way.
I like to find the extremes of the rules and see the benefits of that, and just find a more exciting approach to traditional games.
Do you, obviously games are in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
I think it's here.
What do you like? What do you miss? Or what do you miss about regular gaming? Anything?
I'll say this isn't really the answer, but I have had dreams where I've killed people in games, and I always wake up and I'm like, whoa, because sometimes I'm like, oh well, it is just a video game, and like I know that in the dream, I know that it is, but then I'm like, wow, I just got tricked into doing that, and then.
Do you remember what games they were in your dream?
Yeah, it was kind of like a Call of Duty, Counter-Strike. It's like a normal fighting first-person game most of the time.
And were you like an actual person in the game, or were you playing like a game?
I was playing the game. The last one I remember, I flew in on like a parachute and landed right behind a guy, and it was so easy that it just like almost happened on its own.
Is there a level in your game for your subconscious mind that is still violent? Apparently.
I feel like there's lots of levels in lots of games that have that opportunity.
So the question is though, is there anything you miss about regular, normal, gaming the regular way, usual way?
I miss playing them the regular way. I miss playing with people in that context. But I really think that we can move it's never been a moral judgment. It's never been a question of ethics. It's more about wanting to see as many possible video game experiences as possible instead of just being limited to one genre played a certain way.
Yeah.
But there are many genres, but just being able to see all the different ways that games can be made instead of they're all chasing, or a lot of them are chasing a similar sentiment. And so just these minor explorations that I do as an individual have opened up my world significantly. So it's also why I share it, because I want to see what else can happen. Because I have played a lot of Call of Duty. In 2016, my New Year's resolution was to play less Counter-Strike. Like it was.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good, I think. I think I stopped and I tried to keep that streak going. There might be something loaded up after that, but that was where I was at, just because I was just loading into Counter-Strike and hanging out in there, and that was the normal way to play, but it was very singular, and it was really just the one game. And so it's a big point for me, is that there's a lot of games that you don't get to play if some of them monopolize your time. And so there really should be a healthier set of systems that are fun to get through, rather than just games that force you to repeat themselves. Counter-Strike's different because it's a competitive game, so the more you play it, the better you're going to get at it. But you still, there should be games like Counter-Strike that have the same skills. I was thinking about recoil patterns for the meditation moves that you can do in this game. I haven't gotten there yet because I really wanted it to check a lot of boxes, and having something in your hands isn't one of them. But just the idea that you can translate those skills, which are kind of universal, using a joypad to move a cursor around on the screen, you can do that. What else can you do with it? And it's not just make people disappear from the world.
Yeah.
There should be other stuff that you can do.
But people like to do that.
People like to do that, and I don't think that we should censor. I've said this lots of times. We shouldn't censor or remove those games from the market.
Should be.
There should be more exciting alternatives. And it's hard. It's hard to it's easier to just remove an asset from the game world when it's defeated. You just have the health bar drip down, and then it's gone. The thing's gone, or it's a corpse, and then you loot it. That's having it persist in the game world after you've defeated it, that raises all kinds of questions. Where does it go? How does it keep going? What's the story there for each individual across the board? And so then that allows for just a lot of new exploration, new fun ideas that I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of.
So in your game, actually, there is no destructive words even in the code.
Yeah, there's no... I've never typed the word destroy. We either cycle assets, like the text that appears on screen, for the individual points that are gained, which I'm trying to do it right now, but I don't know if I can do it with this camera angle. Those... I got everybody looking over here. Those numbers that appear are cycled and reused assets, and then...
How come you don't just have like a big graphic on the screen that's like reused?
Doesn't seem necessary. It's and I understand that the sentiment there is, every frame that ticks by, every that disappears, we fade, we change all the pixels of it, and so we're kind of leaving something in the past and eradicating it, if you wanted to go that far. But
still sounds pretty violent to me.
I mean, every second that ticks by is like all that energy is like in that frame, and it's in the past. But we can play games without destroying anything to get through to the end. Somebody mentioned Undertale recently, and I did get to the end of Undertale, but there was a time where you have to like destroy the word fight, and I didn't want to do that. Even though it was the word fight. Even though it was the word fight, you still had to destroy it, and I was confused by that, and it ended up making my game more complicated than it needed to be. But that's the idea, and it's not to say this is the right or only way to do things, but it's to say what happens when we do and explore that idea.
So obviously sometimes you miss playing games that you once loved with people that you used to play games with. What have you gained? Like what has the absence of violence found you in games?
Well, it's part of a bigger path, but I feel like I've seen an increased trend of games that I have nonviolent opportunities in. There's been a big boom in cozy games. I've been exploring them left and right as on this channel, just seeing where we can go with some the cozy games that have just come out this year. And there's a very unique feeling that happens when you convert an enemy to an ally. I found that in Civilization was one of the most notable ones, where a game that I was used to, you just build as many cities as you can and then destroy everybody else. You could create religious zealots who would convert barbarians into friendly units, and so the barbarians that were attacking my cities all became friendly, and then they were on my team. And it was just really changed the way my brain works, seeing these, because there's obvious easy sentiment to destroying your problems and your enemies, and it's very
satisfying.
Satisfying
cathartic.
And cathartic, because we deal with so many different kinds of uncertainties throughout the day, and we deal with so many problems that we can't just eradicate once again. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I think most people are fine. Nobody's got problems.
Oh, you're right. I experienced a couple
pretty
problems.
much know what's going to happen next.
Everybody's
totally
very certain of the future.
Everybody's doing well out there. I don't even think anybody needs a game for their mental health or wellness. That's for sure. Everybody's doing just fine out there.
Yeah.
Don't get the game.
I'm actually thinking about calling it a first person soother. Did I tell you that already? I think that's kind of fun. I haven't put that in a thing, but I was hoping to.
First person soother. I love it. It's great.
There's a comment about befriend a dragon. It seems like my text got cut off a little bit. And
they're still looking for a game other than Ark Survival where you can befriend a dragon.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe you can make a level.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can just fulfill this request tonight.
Pull one in.
I mean, how hard is a dragon?
Meditate with a dragon or a team of them,
right?
Something.
Start the fire for you.
So that's so good.
Yeah.
It is really.
I'll write that down. Dragon.
That's a good idea. Write down dragon. It's once again, I don't have a problem with it, but I think that the philosophy that you end up growing up with, as I did, was that it's better to be quick and assess your enemies and then try to deal with them in a way that converts them into not a problem anymore, rather than ally with them, find out how you can work with them, and then move forward. And I think right now there's been a large push for community and for collaboration, and I think the philosophy of violent games doesn't lend itself to that. A lot of them are the only thing that's really keeping you on a team with somebody else is that you have a common enemy that you're trying to destroy, and the skill you're developing is just identifying people who are not on your team so you can destroy them. And I don't think that allows for a lot of creativity, and I don't think it allows for a lot of new ideas to brew and appear. And once again, they're video games. They're for people to enjoy and to release and to experience and to have fun and to not take seriously and to just get into a different world, escapism, like reading a book. But the idea that we can do so many different things with these virtual games where we're going on these gameplay loops that they do become part of our brain structure, and we get used to it. And anybody who's really gotten to a game knows that they kind of think about it when they're not playing it, and the way that the game presents itself and the way that it's exciting to get through that game, those are ideas that if we can connect them with reality, the better we can do that, the better reality we'll get for everybody. That's the overarching idea.
I think that's super relatable. I'm a reader, and so books that I read are going on in the back of my head all the time, right? What's going to happen? What's what? Who's that? All of these things are sort of playing out, and sometimes I find myself stressed out about it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm relieved because it's not my problems, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a catharsis there. Is that what's happening? Like are people playing those things in the back of their mind because they're working through something? Or is it I guess there's a version of that, but then there's also just a version of, and I think what you're saying is that if that's the default, if there's no other choice, then you have no other choice.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of excuses that are given to the player in that case. Most games have this tutorial at the front that's just like pull the trigger, prove you'll do it, and then now the rest of the game you're just kind of culpable, but it's accepted, and just get through the game by doing the same behavior. I think something that popped in my head recently was that when I was younger I would play games like just 2D games. You'd walk around the world and you'd like try to go through a door or something and be like locked, or say go away or something, or you'd talk to somebody and they wouldn't say anything back, or they would say something terse. And I got used to the idea that when you talk to somebody, they might say one thing, or they don't want to talk to you, and there's not going to be any depth there, and then you don't because just as a little kid, you get used to you hear no, and then you're like, well, it's not going to open until I do something else somewhere else in the world. I'm going to have to hit a switch somewhere. I can't just keep trying to go through this door, and nobody's ever going to come to open it. But that's not I'm not saying that that's how I rudimentally walk through life, but there were some just blips of that kind of reinforced philosophies, and you get used to the ideas that you expose yourself to.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of it's harder to make it so that way that door does eventually open when somebody comes by to open it. There's so many different elements that go into that kind of stuff, but it's still being able to create games that are closer to reality allow us to overcome our real problems better with a stronger philosophy.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are interested and agree with this philosophy, even if they're not familiar specifically with you. I think that there's a lot of people who want to make different games. And so talk a little bit about the power that audiences actually do have in this regard. Because I think a lot of people feel like they're powerless in there being new options, new games, new worlds, I think that your game sort of captures that idea that if you want more of something, you have to be paying attention to it.
Yeah,
right?
that is one of the key principles. I really just kept doing things that I really wanted to do after playing
Seems like a good way to live.
Just all a couple of key elements, and one of them is the attention and the idea of the power of your attention. And I think that in the past it was harder to track, but now, and I do think that a lot of people who use the internet primarily for entertainment know that they do have a power, and then when they're tuning into something, those numbers are very visible, and when the people who are creating whatever is being watched or consumed report those numbers, then the platforms promote them more, and investors are more interested, and those numbers just keep going up relative to the fact that they're going up. And it's beautiful if we accept that, but it's rough if we are in denial of it, if we don't believe that what we're actually looking at, what we're choosing to watch tonight, even though, sure, that just showed up in my feed, and I guess I'll watch it because other people are, but your number is actually being put into that, the amount of time you spend watching that or playing that's being tabulated, and that those numbers at worst are just going to be tabulated in a way that inspires people who are trying to create things for whatever marketplace you're watching or consuming, and that's going to inspire the other creators to make something similar to the thing that's already being watched. And so if we all chose to watch some random thing, then you would see a bunch of spin-offs of that because the numbers would cause it to follow. And I think everybody knows that and agrees with that, but they don't connect it. And so then they end up watching kind of what's in front of them.
I think it's also hard to do, right? And they make it hard on purpose. So
there are people who are interested in getting your attention and holding on to it, and then not letting go. So
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Should always like and subscribe what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a phase where it was kind of a thing people were saying, but it really does reinforce the systems that you want to see more of. I think I talked about it already, the training of the algorithm that I did on TikTok, where I just wanted to... I signed up for it to see what it was, and it kept showing me all kinds of things that were terrible that I didn't want to see at first. And then I just kept scrolling past it until I found what I wanted to see. And I was scrolling past things that were trying to get my attention, but I wasn't interested in them, like police chases and things that were raising. Because
already seen them all. So.
I've seen them all, and they were raising my heart rate. And then I I just scrolled until I saw beautiful scenery and the Pacific Northwest and music that I liked, and I felt really empowered, and I'd never felt that way before until I instead of feeling like a victim of the algorithm, I felt like I was in charge of it. And I think that we're all in charge of it. We just kind of are waiting for it to provide us what we want, and then by not trying to steer it and take control, then we do become victims of the things that we're paying attention to. And so that's why I wanted to tabulate in this game, in 7 Second Summer Camp. Everything you look at has a point total. It's not time, it's not seconds, but it is a point total that increases more the more you look at it, and for the longer durations that you look at it. But those numbers are kept in a tabulation that you can see in the tent.
Crazy. It kind of reminds me of when I check my screen
Screen
report
time,
at the end of the
bar
week.
Graph. Yeah. It's not, and it's not that aggressive because once again, it's not real time, so you don't have to actually start doing the math. But it shows you what you paid attention to and how long you paid attention to things relative to the other things in the world. Because everything that we look at, everything that we pay attention to, is getting that attention, and it's keeping it, and we're getting the benefits of having paid attention to it. But I don't think we give ourselves that power. We accept that we have it. And so I really wanted to show what that power could be like, and show that you can really use it in a way that's fun.
Yeah,
and
right.
Clear.
How to Train Your Algorithm. A story about befriending a dragon.
I love that.
I think, yes, it's hard to seek things out. It's hard to, I guess, support things that you love. It's hard to want to be entertained or want to go to a place where you are sort of just being present with what you're consuming. And so I do think that consumers don't want to do the heavy lift of that. But I also think that, I don't know, they should be paid too. I think, I mean, to take it a step further, I guess, the power of the audience and the power of what your eyeballs are doing, people are getting a lot of value from that, and you're not really, I don't know.
I do think that people have a lot of
8
power.
people are getting value from that. I think that this helps you remember that power that you have in a cool way.
Mm. Yeah.
What are you playing over there?
I'm just looking at stuff. I'm just giving my points to the waterfall now.
They look like they're all being on their best behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen, what other work do you like? What, or maybe have you watched something or played a game recently that inspired you?
Played a game recently?
Yeah, anything. Watch something.
Yeah, I would say that one of the original inspirations for this game was Joel Haver, I'm not sure how to say his name, but the RPG, first time in an RPG video, where he painted his own world, and it really pulled me in, even though it was just this kind of fabrication in general RPG styled world elements. It was a little bit ago, but the way that he kind of took the reins in his own story world and just built it how he wanted it to be, and that it was intoxicating to see that, and
That's cool.
to see an artist really celebrate a vision is, I think, really important and really fun, and something that we should celebrate, witnessing things like that.
That's awesome.
Most of the games that I've been playing, I've really been enjoying too. All the ones that I've been live streaming.
Yeah, talk about what you've been live streaming a few times a week.
Mm-hmm.
For what purpose?
Well, one,
to
because
entertain.
I really like video games.
Oh yeah, you love video games.
So
That's literally why we're sitting here.
I really do. And so I wanted to, when I was trying to create this world, it took a lot of time and energy and effort. And since I was also drifting into meditation while I was doing it, listening to the music and things, then I ended up just feeling very, very determined to get this done without distracting myself too much, without getting lost into too many other activities. And so I feel very I'm very happy with how I did spend my time that way, especially on the initial release of this game. But then while it was happening, there's all these cool games that came out, and I'm through most of them that I was watching, but there was still a lot that I was like, oh, well, I really want to play that one, but I'm going to get sucked in, and then I'm going to be doing that instead of this. And so
live streaming it was a twofer for you.
Live streaming it, yeah, because I also want to celebrate games that are aspiring to be new, different, or interesting, or share values that I agree with. And it seemed that's the fastest way to get that across. Because making a long form video about something that I don't know about yet, it's a lot of energy to add on to finishing up the elements of this game that I'm trying to do too.
Yeah, sounds like you're busy.
It sounds like I have a lot of interests.
Mm-hmm. Well, hobby. What other hobbies do you have?
That's it. That's all I have time for.
You like water a plant or something?
Croquet, maybe? Water a plant. Is that a hobby?
Watering plants? Yeah. Gardening?
I don't know the last time I played croquet.
I don't know if I've ever played croquet. At first I thought you were trying to say crochet. And I was like, okay.
I must have other hobbies.
Crochet. Yeah, what else?
I have a bicycle.
You have a bicycle.
Yeah.
You like to walk.
Walking is important.
Yeah. Just like walk for miles and miles and like grow a long beard. Long silvery beard.
Yes. From coast to coast.
From coast to coast.
It's something like that.
So your live streams, you do a scary game on Sundays. Sunday scaries. Usually on Tuesdays, what do you do?
Tuesdays?
Yeah, don't you do Sunday?
I don't have a thematic thing. It's just trying to get through all these games that are so cool.
Through it Tuesdays.
Get through it Tuesdays.
How about Thursday? You do that?
I do that on Thursdays.
On Thursday also, yeah. Get through it Thursdays.
Get through it Thursdays.
So you Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. You also have a book.
Yes.
Is that in VR?
That there
could it be?
It's actually the covers in this game right now as part of just a display for fun. But you could. I don't know if it would be fun to read a book in VR. I don't think I've really tried it.
I've thought about it because I visited that one library in VR, and I thought it would be cool to pull a book off the shelf and like read a book in like a cozy place in VR. Just like, oh, here's this armchair, and this is a view of the Eiffel Tower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I see.
I'm trying to think
that's how the page is turning. You'd have like that big Mickey glove.
That's the. Yeah, there's there's like a problem in VR that people get upset about teleportation. Yeah. Because they think that it's like it's unfair. If you're trying to attack somebody and they keep warping around in all different directions. But I really think that the opposite mental pathway needs to happen, where teleporting is normal. That's the way that you move around in VR, because you can move quickly, and skills need to adapt to all the new capabilities we have instead of trying to keep things the way that we're accustomed to.
Wow.
And so
I had no idea that you felt this passionately about this in VR.
Because it is the fastest way to go, and moving around and kind of walking around it's fine.
Unnecessary.
But if you can just warp and move to where you want to be, I don't know why we wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, you're a real productivity guy in VR.
Yeah, you gotta streamline it. So there's that, but I don't know if turning a page in a book, if there's a more VR friendly way to do it, that would be, or AR, those are kind of the same thing to me, but there's a difference, but you're still using the digital interface to get information through a spatial world, instead of off of a two-dimensional screen. So I don't know if it would be as joyful an experience. Maybe if the book was super big and you could just like reach up and try to turn it or something. I don't know. I don't know. I've never tried it. So
What if you just teleport to the end of the book?
you should just
and then
teleport to the
you can
last page.
Everything is up here after you
Yeah,
do.
you just skip the whole thing.
Okay,
Get
real
to the
quick.
end.
Andrew says he started meditating because of your video 7 years ago. And says thanks.
You're welcome. That was a video that I forgot I'd made. And that's the funny thing about this camp is that it wasn't. I really sat down and just focused on it this last year, but I've actually started it 3 times and realized that I've also released a phone app in like 2016 that was like a Christmas meditation game, and before that I had started it again, and then I made that video, the meditation suite version 0.001, which was just a guided meditation, and I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they're just so determined to do this, but it just keeps it's this thing
It
that
like keeps coming up.
There's nothing to do with
Yeah.
me. I'm just like I have to do what I'm inspired to do and get done because it's just on my mind.
Yeah.
So now
We
it's out
were
there.
talking about your book, and actually, I don't know if there's much meditation in your book.
No, because the book is called "Hey Everybody, Let's Quit Our Jobs and Play Video Games." So
Nothing about meditation. in that
it is
title.
kind of like it is kind of very specific. It's also a very specific time and era, so it wasn't so focused on meditation.
When
this happened.
abouts were you writing, "Hey everybody, let's quit our jobs and play video games"?
I wrote it a couple years ago, and it's got kind of a chronology of what that is.
Cool.
Yeah.
And where can you get that?
You can get that on Amazon right now, on either your Kindle or as a paperback. And the link is in the description.
Here he is, the author, GoldVision. And
It's a lot of information.
it's a lot of information.
A lot of information to get out,
A lot of stuff
to
out there.
celebrate.
People can listen to the book at 1.5 speed, though. If
I have not done a full audio recording, and I really want to, but
I think that's a top of 2025 project.
There's a long queue
Put on
of
the
things
board.
that, you know.
But
Thankfully,
if-
I do think I know all the things that I'm trying to do now. I don't think there's like a mysterious
Can
one.
you just speak your book into the microphone from the beginning?
You want me
right
to just
now?
read the whole
Just
book
go?
right now?
Yeah. You have it memorized, right?
Yes, I memorized the book I wrote.
You should, just in case.
Mhm. What's on
Just
page
in case.
45?
What's on page 45?
There's a picture.
What if I told you what was on page 45?
That would be impressive.
I wish I looked. How about, who do you see playing this game? Like, who maybe isn't playing it yet?
I would really like people who play Counter-Strike to do it.
Oh yeah,
I would like
those
them to
get
to,
their
like
first
do like a
person
couple
shooter.
rounds and then they'd be like, okay, I need to relax, but do it again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to like fully shut down yet, but I'm ready to go, and then go just do a couple rounds. I've actually thought about making like a Counter-Strike map in here, like an homage.
That'd be fun.
Just a meditation. There's a lot of aspirations to make derivative maps that resemble gaming worlds that I'm familiar with, and I don't know how possible that will be, but it's definitely something I want to do.
Yeah, I like the map idea. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Can you sneak up on one of these giraffes like in Counter-Strike?
No, you can't.
That's, what if people want to do that?
You don't get any points for that, so I don't know why you'd want to.
So, for those of you who love Counter-Strike, for the gamer who loves Counter-Strike, try out 7 Second Summer Camp. It's pretty much,
It's the same thing.
it's like the same thing.
It's the same thing.
You like a first-person shooter?
Mm-hmm.
How about a first-person soother?
Wow. That's cool.
It's raining.
No, that's actually a fountain. That's
Oh,
funny
it's
though.
a fountain.
I don't know what exactly.
Shall I?
I think we just looked at Saturn.
We looked at Saturn too
Yeah.
long.
Well, if you look at Saturn, then you warp to the manifestation center.
Are we there right now?
Yeah, it's not. This isn't.
Oh yeah, because look, we can get credits.
This will be in the. This will be in the new update. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't think we'll be able to get out of it. I hope that audio's not too loud. It does seem like it is.
I hear some. Sounds like a white noise machine.
Bring down it. -21.
Wow, is that how much credits we're making? Money we're making?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
It's just it's blowing up.
I feel productive, honestly.
That's the aspiration. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in your like future iterations of the game, or like what's coming up soon?
Honestly, most recently, I got excited about a map idea I wanted to do, which was racing meditation, where you sit in the car and it just goes around a track and it goes faster the more you sit still. But more realistically and on the horizon is the multiplayer that I want to add. And I don't know how. I've done some multiplayer work, but I haven't finished it up. And like I said, I really want the VR game to be very similar to, or identical to, the first-person game. So I needed those two to be linked up before we got into adding more players to the same game mode, because I didn't want to have any complication. I wanted it to be the same experience for everybody who joins in. And there was a question about Mac support.
Yeah,
and that's definitely,
that was interesting.
I mean, it's on the roadmap, the tentative blueprint.
On the roadmap with the car where you're racing? Same one?
In the car, the map that you'd use for the racing.
But it's coming. Do you got a guess?
No, I
2025?
don't have a guess for that. 2025 seems very doable, though. If it's doable, it'll be doable in 2025.
Cool.
And then it will be available for, hopefully, AR platforms and things like that.
How else can people support you and your work? What's out there?
I would say that just watching is the best and most easiest way, but I also have a Patreon account that I put things in from time to time that are just announcements about what I'm working on, and the comments in there are definitely helpful for encouraging me in the directions that I'm going, and so it's cool to be a part of the Patreon producers and have that system in place, so that way I can celebrate the people who I'm technically collaborating with.
Yeah,
as we move in that direction, because the support from that helps build the elements that I work on, and it helps support the video making as well. Just paying for software and different assets that are necessary to make quality content. That's the value of the Patreon situation, and that's on patreon.com/goldvision. It's all very connected.
And what about sharing it with people?
Absolutely. I mean, sharing, like we were hinting at before, the more noise that anything gets, the more it grows, and the more it's not just a one-time thing. That those numbers are tabulated, that attention is tabulated, the shares are tabulated. It's not all public information, it's not all visible, but it's still real, and it's still useful to marketers and to corporations, and the decisions that are made that affect the economy are based on the attention that people are spending, which is so cool, because if we know that, then we can all direct our attention only toward the things we want to see more of, and then that's all we're going to see. And that's ultimately what I was trying to do here too, is create things that I want to see more of, so that way we can. You can see back there is the GoldVision board we did on a live stream last year.
Oh yeah.
Which some of the stuff is
I remember those vision boards.
Yeah, some of the stuff has happened. don't know if you've seen an influx of bananas this year,
Yeah.
but there's a big pile of bananas. You can't see it on this because we ended up covering it up with world peace, but there's been just some funny little tidbits, and that was just a one-day vision board element that I wanted to just start off. And same thing with the manifestation center. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, just the idea of watching numbers go up is, I think, powerful and opens up the possibilities in your mind of what that looks like.
It's really good to open up possibilities in your mind.
I think so.
Yeah. Thanks for telling everybody about your game that you made for them to make their lives better. Thanks for telling us about that.
Yeah, that's
Do you have any
aspiration.
favorite comments about the game?
There was one review I liked a lot. I liked them all, but Commander Sirius said that he played for more than 7 seconds, and you will too. And I thought that was appropriate. There's unfortunately a layer of comedy that I wanted to add to my meditation game, and so if you can stand if you can stand such a thing as a game designed for meditation, to be a meditation center that you could load up at any time and then move through the different scenery to just find your center and find peace while using your first person shooter skills. If you can put up with that, and also a couple little jokes here and there, that is what I was aspiring to create. So I guess I kind of just kept focusing on what kind of game I would want to play.
Yeah.
And
Is
that the best idea?
I think it's a great idea.
I didn't really look out there in the world and see a game like this that I was like, I want to make more of that. But I've kind of just been, walking this very strange path for a while, non-violence in video games, and I needed a world that I knew that nothing was ever gonna happen.
You just made your own world.
Yeah, I just made it to, base level, and so there's no destruction in the code, and everything's recycled, and all the monsters are converted to allies, and it's like it helps my brain just know that I'm not going to accidentally open a sliding glass door and the guy's going to fall off a ladder, as did in that game from last year. Not to me, but to somebody I was watching play. Just the idea that you press a switch in one place and then something horrible happens to somebody else, and know that's not going to happen. And this is the only game I can actually say that for sure. That's why we started.
That's your guarantee.
Yeah.
Is there a guarantee?
There's nothing,
no kill guarantee.
Nothing horrible is going to happen to anything in this game.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are big words.
Yeah. I gotta go check through
I was
there
gonna
and
say,
make sure there's nothing horrible accidentally put in there.
Just like a slip of the...
Yeah.
Just like add an extra comma or something. I don't know. I don't know what a comma is capable of.
The comma could mess things up. It's true.
What game are you making next?
I have,
You got ideas?
I've got ideas. Yeah. I really do like adding to this one, though, and until the multiplayer is done and all like the derivative meditation levels that I really feel like we've covered all the bases, I think that this will be the focus for a while. But I have thought of some cool non-violent just different kinds of games, different ways to explore those ideas, just more recently toward the end, because I really have been focused on this somehow. I don't know how I did it, honestly, but like I said, the VR version should be coming out soon, hopefully as early as next week, and it'll be just ironing out some of the bugs, and once that's done, then my brain will open up more, and I'll be able to think about what happens after that, in addition to doing multiplayer and like the roadmap stuff I've gone on. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Guess what?
What?
There's a question for me.
Oh yeah?
Yes. It's what's my favorite part of the game.
Oh, what's your favorite part of the game?
So I think my answer is twofold. As far as within the game, I really like being up on the moon.
Yeah, that's good.
That's kind of like my whole thing, you know, being up there in that moon jacuzzi.
Yeah.
That's something I love. But I guess holistically about your game, I love just like original ideas. And I think that gamifying meditation and building something in the way that you built it is I just get really excited about novelty and originality. And so that's my favorite part, is that it really is something that isn't like anything else that's out there, which is a tough place to sit sometimes. But I really respect it. And
well, thank you. That's
so
it's really important to me to, well, at least right now, at this time in my life, to express myself just very fully, so that way I feel like I did that, and I know that I did that. And so I'm really thankful for everybody who's been along on this journey, and who's, you don't like have to walk it with me. Just as long as
you
as
can
you
just
know it's
laugh
happened,
at
you can just
him,
laugh,
which
and
is
it
also
often
fun.
is very funny how things go awry, and so how hard it is to just not attack things. So many games.
Oh yeah, because
So
you
many
didn't talk
games.
about the threshold of violence.
No, and I don't think there is one in my game, but the threshold of violence where I've gone over it in a lot of live streams where you can't continue the game without hurting something or hurting someone.
Right, and your game doesn't have that.
My game doesn't have that.
Guaranteed or no?
Guaranteed,
I
no
don't know
threshold of
how.
violence.
Guaranteed no threshold of violence.
Mhm.
What about where's the threshold of fun in your game?
Threshold of fun?
Yeah. When do you start having fun?
I would say at the beginning. Start having fun at the
Right
beginning.
in the first 7 seconds?
So, yeah, in the first 7 seconds.
What surprised you about developing this game? Or game development in general?
I mean, I'll say the same thing everybody says. It's much, much harder than I thought it was going to be. And I had a lot of big aspirations of what I wanted to do. Not the traditional, I want to make an MMO, giant world, whatever. I thought it would be very simple to make a series of levels that were very isolated, and just a series of art exhibits, really, that you could sit in and meditate in. But every time I wanted to add one detail or change one thing, it ended up having cascading effects. And then it would also be inspirational. So then I would have to and want to add another feature, and then another feature. Just your traditional scope creep. But all things that were important part of the original plan, and things that I had maybe given up on, not knowing how to do, and then having learned how to do something else similar, I then knew how to do it, which changed the way that I was building it.
Yeah.
So loops like that. But it was also, and I do want to say I'm new to it, but I also delivered that mobile app in 2016 using the same system, and before that, the video that I made.
You also
for
built a video
meditation.
game for me before.
It's true. It was like a tutorial, learn how to make a video game, and I thought Jenerator would like to see the particular news article brought to life that we had found.
It was pretty good.
It
was it was a heartwarming
the
game.
thing is, it's more
And
it's
fun.
rewarding to do. That's the unfortunate thing. If it wasn't so rewarding, I don't think people would do it. But having the results that you wanted and being able to generate so many frames of something unique and interesting that no one's ever seen before, being able to have that kind of control over your computer screen is very rewarding. Editing videos is also rewarding, and making that version of that framing of what's been captured is really rewarding too. But having the computer generate frame after frame of the math and the logic that you figured out is really rewarding in a different way that I'm still it's just like climbing up a hill, but every step, every time you get to another plateau, it's really nice to look out and
Have a
see what you see.
picnic there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A picnic of the eyes.
Picnic of the eyes.
Yeah.
Good. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Somebody had to say it.
I don't think anybody did
Somebody did.
actually have to say it. Okay, so you can get the game on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be able to get the game in VR soon. If you already own the game, it's going to be patched.
It'll be the same version, so you won't have to do anything aside from opening
Which
Steam.
version do you like better?
What do you mean?
Them.
They're just kind of this. It's kind of just built on top of itself.
The VR is pretty cool.
It's it definitely is a different experience to move your head around and then the thing you look at changes. It's not something that we get to do in our day to day. It's normally a one-way street, you know, you like look at something and then that's it.
Sometimes I look at a stoplight and then I'm like, that's going to turn red right now.
And aside from that thing that works, most of the things that we look at don't respond to our attention. But in this game, I think everything does. Everything responds to your attention, and then you benefit from it, and so does it. So it's really it's really a deep exploration of the value of attention in that way. And this new version is a little bit more focused on the paint by numbers color changing world. So it's a little more high contrast at the front than the current version, and you do see things change when you look at it instead of when you appreciate it, which makes sense if you've played it before. Otherwise, it's pretty similar, and all the levels are the same, aside from this manifestation center, which was not complete in the last patch, but is done now, and so it'll be available and in VR when it's all said and done.
Nice. The manifestation center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, you know, fun ideas level after level. Just keep adding them, see where they go. One of the places you could just go and look at a vision board or whatever, and just look at numbers going up. And so that's Manifestation Center. I think you can only get to it after you beat the initial game, though. So you might want to do that first.
Our numbers are really going up.
Yeah,
by the way.
those are just flying.
That is satisfying to look at.
It is just just let it fly, let it ride.
There is a comment, and they said that they would love a game where it starts off like a traditional game, but then you hit a wall, and that the only way to move forward is non-violently.
That's
which would be interesting.
That would be interesting. I
think that's a good mindset too, because you know.
I don't want to get too far ahead, but there was a part of me that wanted to make a horror game or like a scary game, but like meditation is what, like, you start off and everybody's antagonizing you, and then it's actually by pulling back and just being at peace with what's happening, so how you advance the game. I don't know if that's how realistic that is, and maybe it'll just be a level that we do, but I really did want this game to be completely stress-free, non-destructive, painless, guaranteed experience, so that's probably where it will have to stay.
No pain guarantee.
No pain guarantee.
Cool.
Yeah.
That does sound nice. The little waterfall you got back there?
Yeah, I hope it's not too loud.
No, I think, well, it sounds nice to me.
It's a fountain.
It's a fountain.
Yeah.
A fountain.
Fountain of ideas.
Ooh. Sounds nice.
Mm.
What happens when you toss a penny in?
Well, if the math works like the rest of the game, then it gets a penny, and then you get 2 pennies, because that's how you get points.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. That's a
you
pretty
get
good
twice the
exchange
points
rate
that you give to anything in the game, so everybody benefits from them. the opposite of a prisoner's dilemma, I think.
I think you're giving away too much.
Oh, it's straight up. Come on. Right there. It's the whole bag.
So wait. Do you want to give any other multiplayer hints?
I don't know any of them. I have no idea.
Well,
multiplayer hints?
I mean, maybe you put out the request then. Because I like that you really are interested in what the feedback is, and you get to make things that people... You're going to make things that people want, so...
I will say that there is one negative review. There used to be 2, and I changed the part of the game that one of the negative reviews didn't like in a way that I wanted to, and made things better because of it. And then the review was changed, and so now I only have 1 negative review. So I'm aspiring to also change the things for that other negative review to see if I can get them all.
But you're gonna be a little busy. I mean,
yeah,
just because people like to say negative things.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it would be interesting to see what the this is an aspiration.
Just like every time somebody comments, it's just like a new ticket on your desk, and you just like have to do it.
Yeah.
What if they said like delete this game? Maybe just a within reason.
I feel like that's
give it a within reason.
Within reason. Sure. I'm not saying that I will do everything.
No, but you're saying that you will respond to good ideas.
But yeah,
and what people want to do.
Especially if there's like a connection between where the game is and where it can be, because I want it to be perfect.
What's the negative review say?
That it takes too long to get through some of the parts.
My guy, you gotta meditate. Come on, it's not on us. It's not on you.
I agree, but I think that part of the fun comes from getting through the game a little faster.
Okay.
So not the whole thing, but just to start to understand the gameplay loop.
To get you going.
Yeah. So because I can understand. For me, meditation is very everyday, often. So I don't have a problem getting lost in it, but I understand if you're new to it, or you're just coming out of your Counter-Strike binge, you're gonna want to like get through there. So I think that it's gonna be a little faster for people who are trying to decelerate from where they started the evening, and then it will just kind of continue on a healthy cadence of meditation and peace.
That's fair. That's fair. So yeah, multiplayer. Open to suggestions, open to favorite
It's gonna
things.
be so cool, but
I know. I think that what already exists could be made even better.
Yeah.
By you.
By all of us.
All of you.
Everybody.
Everyone of us.
There's so much opportunity here.
Cool. Well, love the game.
Well, thanks for playing.
Yeah,
thanks for being here.
Thanks for all your candid answers. It was great to hear it all in one place.
I feel like I've been pretty consistent for the last couple years now. I feel like my philosophy isn't really being rattled by new gameplay experiences, and I feel like I know what I want to do, and I like to see what's happening because of it, and so it's just a fun path that I'm sharing with the world and the robots that are paying attention.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's so nice of you. I do.
I'm here for it.
Thanks for being here, robots. And everybody else. Everybody equally.
Yeah.
And thanks for the comments.
Yeah.
Patreon. Find it.
Check out the Patreon. Check out
the book.
It's all in the description.
Hey everybody, let's quit our jobs and play video games.
7 Seconds Summer Camp. It's there on Steam on the website.
You got some merch.
Yeah, merch I think is in the bottom of the videos, and then VR is coming out real soon.
What else should they do?
Just the one thing. Yeah, just the one thing that I always ask. And you have a beautiful night, and you go on to your dreams.